I'm Helen Scales, author of the upcoming book, The Brilliant Abyss. And I think what makes the deep sea so special is the simple fact that it's full of so much unique and incredible wildlife. Not so long ago, the deep was really a tremendous void, filled with nothing but myths and legends and endless unknowns. It was less than 200 years ago when most scientists thought that nothing lived in the deep sea at all. They assumed it was simply too cold and dark and hungry and the pressure just too high for anything to exist at all. Pressure so high that if you put down a normal polystyrene drinking cup, it comes back this big, because all the air's been squeezed out. This one's been down to 2,000 metres. But of course we now know that the deep sea is full of amazing life and there's so much left still to discover. The American author John Steinbeck wrote in his book The Log of the Sea of Cortez that an ocean without its unnamed monsters would be like a completely dreamless sleep. And the deep is not going to run out of creatures for us to name and find anytime soon. There will always be more places to explore, and fantastic beasts will appear in view and then slip away into the dark deep. My favourite deep sea creature is really hard to decide on because there's so much choice. So actually I'm going to cheat a bit and choose a whole group, the swimming polychaete worms. Now these are animals that have abandoned a way of life that involves mainly just crawling along the seabed, and they've leapt up into the water column and they swim around. And they include lots of really beautiful creatures, things like Tomopteris, otherwise known as gossamer worms. Now these look a bit like a cross between a gleaming centipede and a dragon dance at Chinese New Year, and they swim these elegant pirouettes through the open water. And when they're disturbed, they throw golden glittering clouds into the water, which means that they really are glowworms, unlike the things that live on land that we call glowworms that are actually types of beetle. And the cool thing about Tomopteris is that bioluminescence they create, that light, is yellow, and that's a really unusual colour. Most things that live in the deep sea and produce light, a lot of them do, but they produce blue or green light as the most common colours. But Tomopteris make yellow. Another of the glowing worms in the deep sea are swimmer bomboviridis, the green bomber worms, and they have these green blobs stuck to their bodies, which when they're disturbed they throw into the water as a distraction so that they can then swim off into the dark.